Salut, bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all so much for already signing in. I'm so grateful. And apologies once again for the mix up with the timing. I had to speak with our guest speaker and we just had to move things around. But I promise you guys, today's session is going to be completely amazing, okay? I'm going to share my screen now. Oh, salut, Tom. Thank you for being here. I'm going to just share my screen quickly for those who are just joining. This webinar is going to just be for 1 hour. I'm going to ensure I do not take so much of your time today. So please keep me to this 1 hour and we are going to stop it, okay? You have time at the end of today's session to ask a lot of questions, so do not worry. But let me share my screen now. Please let me know if you can see my screen in the chat box. All right, everybody. Oh, salut, Chinyere. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, please can we let me know in the comment section that we can all see my screen so that I'm sure we're on the same page. Okay, thank you. Tosin can see my screen. Thank you. Tom can see my screen as well. Alrighty, let's get started. Thank you for that. So, since you can see my screen, the first thing I'm going to ask you is this. Please introduce yourself. Tell me your name, where you're joining from, and your profession. It's just that simple. So obviously, most people know my name is Sumolua. I am joining from the beautiful city of beautiful province of Ontario in Hamilton, in Canada. And I'm a teacher. That is my profession. So please, you go ahead, just type in the comment section below your name, where you're joining from, and your profession. Oh, hi, Jide. Jide says hi. He's joining from Quebec. Nice. And he's an IT, or he's into IT basically. Okay, thank you, Jide. Thank you very much for that. Yay, Chinyere has said she's Chinyere, or he's, do you mean it's a female? Sorry. She's from Lagos, and she's joining from Lagos basically, and she's a sales manager. Thank you for that. Let's just wait for other people to before we really get started. Okay, thank you, Jason. Jason is equally from, or he's joining from Lagos, and he's a data analyst. Wow, that is an exciting role. I remember when I first moved here, I actually thought of going into data analytics, but I quickly realized it wasn't for me. But anyway, Trace, thank you so much for joining. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to add our wonderful guest shortly. Salut, Lara. Ça va? For those just joining, please let me know if you can see my screen. Jason, Jide, and Chinyere have um, introduced themselves. Apologies. They've said what their names are, where they're joining from, and their profession. So please, you do the same. Yay! Aloy is a project manager from Canada. Thank you. I'm just going to add our amazing guest today. so that we can get it moving. 1 second, please. Bonjour à tous. Salut Joy, ça va? Where are you joining from, please? And what's your amazing profession? Yay! Lara is equally a project manager. You see this project management. I remember when PMP was everywhere. I was like, Sumolo, are you sure you're not going to enter this boat? But yeah, I think I'll just leave that to my husband to handle. At project, I'm already running projects at home. That's more than enough. All right. Just Joy says salut. Salut Joy, j'habite au Nigeria. So j'habite au Nigeria. C'est pas j'habite à Nigeria. Ah, you use a when you're talking about a city. So for example, I could say j'habite au Canada à Ontario. Or for example, if I'm in France, I could say um, maintenant je suis en France à Montpellier. Tu comprends? Mais oui, this is not a class. Thank you for that. Salut Fadikemi. Yay, entrepreneur, like all of us. Solopreneur, whichever one. Thank you so much. Okay, let's keep it moving, guys. Next question, or next slide, excuse me. No, for those just coming in, thank you all so much for being here. I am so happy to have you here. Thank you. Can you just tell me in the chat box as well, what is a new French word or a phrase that you learned recently? Tell me what a new French word or a phrase is that you learned recently. It can be anything, an object, a verb, an animal, a French meal, anything you learned. Just let me know in the comment section below. Okay, Joy is in the A1. Oh, yep, don't worry, that's perfectly fine. It's okay. Okay. Ooh, Jason, thank you for that word. Jason says his new word is faire. So faire, guys, means to do or to make. Okay, that's just simply what it means. It's that's in the infinitive form. Faire means to do or to make. That is a great word. Thank you for that. Anybody else, please? Oh, nice. Chinyere says her word is gaspy. Gaspy. That is a nice word. Do you know what that means, guys? It means waste, basically. So, like, or wasteful. That's what it means. So, you're wasting something, or yeah, that's literally what it means. Just waste. Thank you for that. That's a nice word. Oh, somebody else says, il y a. That's a good one. That means there is or they are. Okay. So you can say, il y a beaucoup de personnes, il y a beaucoup d'embouteillages. It just simply means there is ou they are. Otherwise, it says peut-être, maybe. Ah, oui, peut-être is a nice word. It means maybe or like can be. Anyone's fine. Also, vient de. Good. You can say, je viens du state, je viens du Nigeria. Exactly. So I come from Nigeria. Je viens du Nigeria. Thank you for that word. Salut, Ifelua. Oh, Lara learned gentil. Or Lara's new word, not learned, excuse me, is gentil. And that's a fantastic word. That means kind. Yes, you're kind, or you can say tu es très gentil. It also means like nice or sweet or lovely. But yes, it's a fantastic word. It's a fantastic word. Hey, Ayadeji's one is une tranche de pizza. I love pizza. I love pizza. I love just margaritas, plain pizza, nothing else. But yes, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for engaging. This is amazing. Anybody else have any new word before we move to the next slide, please? We have our amazing guest joining us soon. Hey, that's a nice word. Thank you. Do you know that this word, I remember hearing it recently and I thought, so what does this mean? It means trailer, guys. So she has said, or he has said, bande annonce. Bande annonce means trailer. So you know how, for instance, you go to the cinema and you watch like a preview before your movie starts, exactly. Or for instance, if they tell you Mission Impossible is coming out and you watch the trailer. So bande annonce means trailer. That's like the preview, what you're seeing before, like a teaser trailer. So that's a fantastic word. Oh, gâteau. If your says her new word is gâteau. Thank you. That means cake, guys. If I say I love cake, my husband will laugh at me. So basically, I take cake once in a while, but that's a fantastic word. Oh, Joy's new word is bike. Sorry, not bike, is velu. That's a nice word. Thank you for that. Don't forget, please, it has an accent, but that's not what class is about today. But thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Okay, guys, let's move on to what we are here for today. This fantastic webinar. In this webinar, we're just going to discuss how we started learning the French language, the opportunities that we have gained from learning this fantastic language, achieving intermediate, first of all, starting from beginner to intermediate to fluency in the French language, writing the DELF examinations and equally the TEF or the TCF examinations, and so much more. If you are super pumped, please just type yes in the chat box, or you can put a thumbs up. Just type yes, Sumo, or thumbs up so that I know we're all here and ready to get started. Hey, thank you. I've already seen one hand. Thank you, visibly present imagery. Thank you so much for that. Good. She says, we is ready. Who else, please? Yay, more people are ready. Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, guys. This is exciting. Okie dokie. Let me bring our amazing guest now. Um, 1 second, please. All right, Joker, can you hear us, please? Oh, Visible President says, j'aime la langue française. Merci beaucoup. Moi aussi, j'aime la langue française. Et aussi, Joker. Let me take this down, excuse me, so you can see our fantastic guest. Salut, Joker, ça va?
You.
Comment était ta journée?
Ah oui, c'est bon. C'est bon,
D'accord.
c'était
Merci beaucoup. Okay, guys, this is our amazing guest. Joker is here today to talk to us on different things about this fantastic French language. And like I said, guys, I'm going to ensure we keep this to just 1 hour so that I do not take too much of your weekend and you can spend it doing whatever. So, Joker and I met, you wouldn't believe, guys, that we met just this year. I'd heard we're in a similar French group, and she had shared something on the group last year that really caught my attention. And I slid into her DM. I said, "Hi, Joker, nice to meet you. My name is Smoloa. I teach French, etc. Would I get? Can I get to speak to you?" And Joker ghosted me, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, this hasn't happened to
at
me."
that. Like, you didn't have to. Ah. Don't be on my face.
No, no. And I told my sister, Sumo, you know what? Let's try this again. And so I reached out to her again this quarter, and Joke has been fantastic. We have been talking regularly, and she's been so amazing. And when I heard her story, I said, you know what? Let's come together to have this webinar to just tell people about this fantastic language, how it is learning a language in Nigeria as a mom, as a wife, having a job as well, just so that people can actually know it is possible. And yes, people are, we have a ton of things that we're always doing, but Joken knew that if she wanted to move the needle, she needed to learn the language. So, in order for me not to talk too much today, let me give the floor to Joken. Joken, please present, or not present, please introduce yourself, and then I'll ask you different questions going forward.
All right. Thank you so much. You're such an amazing person. And you sort of direct me with that ghosting. People of God. I'm a nice person. But you know how people are moving differently on the space of Nigeria these days.
Yes.
And, okay, me, I don't have money. You don't come and you cannot collect what I don't have. Well, yeah, I'm so excited to be here with everyone today. Jomonom, Jokepel, Badagri Uyebamiji. Um, oui, j'habite à Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Oui, je suis en couple depuis 4 ans. Je suis mère d'une fille de 12 ans. Je me considère plutôt calme et réfléchie, mais
Yes, you.
ma famille pense que je suis énergétique. Ouais. Yes. So for people in the audience that don't understand French yet, because you would understand it soon. I am Joke Oyibamiji. I am a mother. I am a wife. I run a company. I'm a worker. I am different things. I really love the French language. It is such an amazing language. Yeah, different reason got me to start learning it. So right from secondary school, January, junior school, primary school, of course, like a lot of us, we learned the Bonjour les merci, like people say, right? And there's this funny thing we used to say that we would say, a friend, edeti yakogbo, edeti baba kogbo, toman fi tipa tipa ko wa." Right? The language that our father doesn't understand, our mother doesn't understand, but they are teaching us by force. Unfortunately, we grew up and now we have to learn the French, right? So, it is an amazing language. The richness, the culture is so, so beautiful. It comes in second only to Yoruba. Yes, I'm a Yoruba girl through and through. So, yes. So, yes, that's a little bit about me. I'm sure you get to know more as we continue with the conversation.
Thank you so much, okay? Thank you for that. So, guys, you heard what I said. We're beginners. We're not we're beginning. Excuse me. Even if you're a beginner here, do not worry. You will still get to understand it. Okay, JK. I was going to ask the next question. Apologies, I'm still looking at my phone. It's because I'm looking here to ask JK fantastic questions. So, the first question I will ask is, how long did it take you to learn the French language?
That's a beautiful question. And before I answer that question, I would like to put out a caveat. All right, because in settings like this, somebody hears, "Oh, Joke learned for only 1 day." Oh yeah, I'm going to let us go and learn the French. So everybody has a different pace.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different rate of assimilation. Everybody has different timing available to them to learn. For me, at that point, my baby was a few months old, right? I was still working, my day job was still there, my company that was running was still there. So I had limited time, really. And I had to come to that table to say, you know what, Joke, there would never be the perfect time. I could have said, yes, maybe it would take me 10 years to learn it. But cumulatively, I started taking French seriously January last year. So I would say I learned for about a year before I got the confidence to say, you know what, now I'm ready to write an exam. But that can be different for someone else. You might
Yeah.
have to learn for longer. And there's this popular debate that goes on. People say learn French in 6 months and ace exams. I'm like, interesting. Like
What's
your
wrong
brain
with this brain?
your brain must be on fire. Like teach us your ways. You know what? Come and lay on me, not just hand, because you're on fire. But maybe there are people that could do that. You look at your availability, your free time,
Yeah.
yeah, your interest in the language, and use that to calculate. But another thing I would say to that is you need to pace yourself as well. It is not exactly a marathon.
Yeah.
It, so, for example, somehow, I need to acknowledge this. I have a love for languages. I have a love for languages. French did not enter my head on time, sha, but but I love at a point I loved the language. I fell in love with it. So yeah, that was it for me.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Jack. The next question would be, what was your plan for the language and why did you decide to learn the French language? I know you say you have a lot of languages, so why didn't you choose Mandarin or German or Italian? Why the
Yeah.
French language?
So that's a beautiful question. So two things to that. There are parts to learning French or choosing French as my preferred language. The first one was I was working towards Canada immigration, and there was a pathway to immigrate to Canada if you could speak French. So that was one. Now I'm layering that on top of the fact that I love languages as well. So French was one of it. The second one was that I looked at it and said, even beyond getting into Canada, it is a global language. I think I watched a video once and there are millions, even not billions of people of French speakers all over the world. So it
Yeah,
opens the door of opportunities, even in terms of business, right? I've been able to get even clients by the time I know the person is a francophone, but when I start speaking French, they're like, oh, okay. They really want to converse with you more. They
yeah,
are open to the opportunities. So French opened not just immigration door, it opened business doors as well. Another thing it does, I chose French was French just has this way of, how do I put it? It has this nice feel to it when they are speaking it.
Yes.
I just felt like, okay, you know what? It won't be bad. It's an amazing language to for immigration, for business purposes, for interpersonal purposes as well. So French fitted all of that category for me, and that was why I went for French.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that, Joke. And Joke is extremely right because I remember, as she said as well, when, oh, I think her network, okay, she's back. I think when I wanted to start learning the French language as well, I started learning, I would say, as we all did, probably sometime in 2011 was the very best time I said, okay, you know what, Tumulua, why didn't you register for a French class? I had never heard about the Canada route. 2011 was, who even heard about it back then, right? And then I think sometime in 2018, I said, okay, you know what, Smola, let's actually take this seriously. And I started learning the language for the love of it. And every single time, I would try and make sure that my vacation days at work, when I was in Nigeria, I would coincide it to ensure that I went to a francophone country when they were having like a festival or something, so that I could equally meet more French people and just not go there and sit there in a hotel. So that was my reasons. Until eventually 2019 came, I wrote the TEF examinations. Excuse me, I aced it. I got IT, got my PR, and as I say, the rest is history. And like Joke Aikoli said, when I got here, when I was having one of my interviews, someone asked me, or one of the people on the panel asked me, "Hi, Smolo, are you sure you can speak French?" And I said, "Okay, you know what? Let's switch this interview to French, just so that you can see that I can speak it." Because some people think, okay, let me just learn French for an exam or something. No, it's so much more than that. You're already bilingual. Nobody can take that from you. So as Jokai Kwoli said, she's got to meet more people like for business and she can speak two languages with them. And they say this when you speak to a man in his language, it goes to their heart. If I travel and I hear somebody speaking Yoruba, I immediately smile. I'm like, wow, this person is my person. So the same way if someone travels and they hear a French person, they're like, oh, this person equally speaks French, it's good. So guys, this is just another reason. It's not just for one thing. You may want to learn French for so many reasons. It could be for PR, it could be to be a postgraduate student, for business, to meet the love of your life, or to just make new friends. Any reason you want. Thank you so much for sharing that, Joke. My next question, 1 minute, sorry. Okay. If you could, can you give us some tips that might help beginners when they're learning? Because even if I've shared so many tips on my YouTube channel and I've talked a lot about what to do and what it is, I want to hear from somebody else what tips they can give for complete beginners. So maybe somebody that's just looking to start or someone who is around the A1 level.
Hmm. That's an amazing question because there are so many options to learn today, so many platforms to learn from. And I would use myself as an example. When I started learning, I started with Duolingo. Duolingo is amazing, it's fantastic. But when I wanted to start taking it seriously, I knew that, okay, you're just playing on that place. Another 1 million years will meet you there. And you're still doing Je m'appelle Joker. Right? So when I wanted to take that seriously, I knew that I needed to attend classes. That
Yeah.
was it for. So that would be my one of my biggest recommendation for learning is to take a class. There's something taking a structured class does for you. Three things actually. The first one is the basic rules of grammar. I
Yes.
see a lot of people struggle with this because their foundation is shaky. Trust me, when you get the basic foundation of grammar right, as you advance, yes, it becomes more tougher, it becomes harder, but you have that foundation, you can easily adapt to them. The second one is pronunciation. I can't overemphasize this. I cannot overemphasize this. In fact, this one is the biggest of the biggest ones, this pronunciation. If you're doing self-study or you're doing Duolingo or you're reading books, it will be difficult to ace pronunciation. You need a class where there's either a tutor or yeah, a facilitator, a teacher that is correcting you on the spot. Remember, you've spoken another language for over 20, 30, 40 years. So your tongue is already wired to speak in a way. Even I've been speaking this language for over a year. Sometimes I have to catch myself, right?
Yeah.
Even in English, there's something
Yeah.
because I'm a Yoruba person, there's interference.
Yeah.
right? Because the accent of my mother tongue interferes in in my English. Talk less of French, which is my like my fourth language, right? So it is important for every beginner to attend the class, get a tutor. They would help you with those fundamentals. There's some French words that I come across. Maybe I've never seen it, but because of the foundation I have, I know that okay, this combination of vowels, this combination of consonants, typically this is how it sounds. Typically, this is what it should look like because I have that foundation. I'll tell you another very funny story. So I attended a French class, right? And every time I'm trying to remember that word. I'm trying to remember the word, and they corrected me for over 3 months before I got it right. I'm not kidding. Like they'll just be like, at a point, my tutor was like, "Wait, where are you from?" I said, "Oshun State." Say, "No wonder." He said, "No wonder. This thing is so easy. Pronounce it this way." I was like, "Okay, yes, I get it." The next time I use it in a sentence, I repeat the error. But the reason why I was able to overcome that was because I attended the class. I got immediate correction, and that helped. So for every beginner, you're looking to learn this, attend the class, get a tutor. It would help you. The second tip that I would give is find an enabling environment.
Yeah.
A lot of us we depend on our sheer will, on our determination. I hate to break it to you, but your determination would fail you. I'm like, it's not a it's not a course. It's because life would happen. Life would
Yes.
happen. There are mothers here, there are wives here, there are single ladies pursuing their careers here. Why do you really think? Like, why do you really think that by yourself, by your own sheer will, you will become a fluent speaker?
Yeah.
If, for example, you went to work today, your boss gave you back bars goals, on that day you would forget to study anything.
Mm-hmm.
But if you knew you had to join a class, that motivation will be there. And I'm not saying this because Sumo is a French tutor or necessarily sign up with her. I'm telling you what worked for me. It worked for me. Remember I said my daughter was a few months old when I started learning French. It took a lot from me. In fact, at a point, it was the fact that, hey, God, if I don't go to class today, they check up on me. Right? That I won't lie to you. That was the only thing that kept me going at a point. Because I was, you know what? Oh, hey, God, who sent me message? Like, who even told me to do this one? But the fact that I was in an enabling environment, it gave me the motivation to go on. So that's the second one, enabling environment. The first one is to get tutoring. The
Yeah.
second one, enabling environment. What's the third one? I remember as we go on.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And what Joke said is very true. There's something I always tell my students as well. I say, discipline is what kicks in when motivation has left. I'm going to say this again. Discipline is what kicks in when motivation has left because motivation will leave you. As she said, it will go. I see people sign up. You see, that first week of the new year, I get a lot of students, and I'm not lying. They would sign up somewhere. I'm ready. This is my year. I must attain fluency. 2 weeks, 3 weeks down the line, because I can see their progress on my dashboard, and it starts dwindling. And I ask them what's going on. Ah, Sumo, as Joke, I said, work. My manager, I just got promoted. My manager just got fired. I have more of the job. And I'm like, I understand. Life will happen. That is very true. But you need to ask yourself one question. What is it costing me not to speak this language? Not Sumo's reasons, not Joke's reasons, not Toyosi's reason. What is your reason for wanting to learn this language? And why do you not want to continue pushing yourself? And I should say, you need a community. So even in my course equally as well, I have a support group because I know what it is like. I learned French, at least Joke even learned in a class. I'm happy to for you guys to hear that we learn French differently just to attain one goal. So she learned it in a classroom in an enabling environment. I learned it on my own. And I can tell you, I'm sure mine took, I'm not even saying I'm sure. I learned it longer than Joke did because of that reason, I'm sure as well. I wish I had had a support group of people that I constantly reach out to. I'm like, oh, hi Joke, please, I don't understand what this teacher said in class, or I'm watching this particular lesson. Could you explain it to me? And it's because I didn't have that, I created that for my students. So I know what it is like to be on your own and just be looking, say, what am I going to do next? And she also mentioned something as well, which is even what I've talked about. Written French and spoken French are two completely different languages. There is a word that someone put up here. One second, please. I'm going to share it on my screen. Shinyere put up a word here. Yes, this is the word she put because I asked before Joker came that what's a new word we learned? If I couldn't speak the French language, I would probably say gaspille or something like that. That's what I would say because there are two L's, right? So obviously that's how it's going to be pronounced. And why am I saying this? Because I am an English speaker, or at least I speak English. I would say gaspille and just say bye, I got it right. It's not, guys, it's gaspille. You see those L's? Just imagine they are Y. It's pronounced Gatsby. But if I were reading, as Joke has said, without having to ever speak to someone, one, or ever listen to a podcast or something that pronounces this word, or even let me even say, okay, Sumolu, I'll be lazy and just put it on Google Translate and let it say the word. For the rest of your life, you will continue to think this word is pronounced Gaspile, Gaspile. And when you then travel to a francophone country and you are saying, oh, there is waste, the person will be saying, what is gaspiller? The person wouldn't understand you until probably you point at them like, oh, gaspiller. So what she said, I'm trying to flog this issue, but she's really right. Spoken French and written French are two completely different languages, and you need that mentorship for someone to help you to ensure your pronunciation is not wrong. So thank you for that. Joker, you also said something. You said your fourth language. I did not know there's a fourth language. Please tell us. Tell us. Because I thought it was just Yoruba, French, and English.
So
But
let
anyway,
me, it's an original, it's a secret. So
okay,
I
let's keep
speak
it.
pidgin as well. That is a language. I speak pidgin, and they speak pidgin very well.
No problem, okay.
And
Thank you.
truly, it is a fourth one.
It's fine. Taiwo too has said it. Is that pigeon? Okay, thank you. The next question I would ask is, um, as I know you've already talked about business and probably talking about also the doors might open, but are there any other opportunities that even you can equally see the French language has created for you and will continue creating for you?
Hmm. I would say that on an interpersonal level, French helps me. It opens the doors of friendships way better, especially with French speaking people, even with non French speaking people. And I belong to a group, and a lady was, I want to learn French. And I was like, okay, teach me something you know as well. So let's do trade by Vasa. So on interpersonal relationships, it helps. It opens the doors of friendships. It helps to understand other people better, right? It's because you see the world from their own worldview
Yeah.
because they speak a different language. So learning French has helped me to do that. What else has French helped me to do? Hmm. I would say that it proved to me that if you set your mind to something, you can actually achieve it. That is actually a big one. For some time, I am, would I call myself a multi passionate person, a multi potentialite? I can do different things. But I looked at the pattern of my life and I said, okay, why do you start some things and don't finish it? Okay, why do you not focus on some of the things you're supposed to focus on? And it was a challenge to me. And I said, you know what? Joke, that's not who you are. Prove to yourself that you can start things and finish it. So when I went on that French journey, I proved to myself that you are capable of doing hard things. You are capable. It is hard. I won't even sugarcoat it for anybody here on the call today and say French is all rosy, my dear. By the time you start saying subjunctive, your head will just
Fuck
like
you.
what
Il
what
faut
what what
que-
what you get out here? Like
when you
what?
start with il faut que, you're like, huh? But
Yeah, like Okwa, you forgot Guinea. you know, there was actually a day in class when I didn't know when I said Guinea. what did they talk? The teacher looked back and said, "You said what?" I said, "Don't worry, just continue." Right. So it's not a rosy path. I would be clear about that, but it is worth it at the end of the, just like anything good. I don't see anything good that came easy at all. For those of us that have maybe had a child here, the process of giving birth to that baby, if they explained it very well to some of us,
you not do it. No.
you wouldn't have done it. But you go through that moment of stress, and at the end of it, you get a beautiful face looking at you, and they grow up, they call you mommy, and you're like, wow, this is so amazing and beautiful. But the process of it, the pregnancy, birthing them, is not easy. So French it wasn't an easy journey, at least not all through. But at the end of it, it's beneficial for me. I have the confidence to speak with people, open opportunities, and then prove to myself as well that whatever I start, I can finish. Yeah.
No, you have said, you literally, you took your hand, you entered my throat and you brought it out. So you're right. And one thing Joke said that has stuck me is friendship. Because like I said, guys, I met Joke this year. And if I couldn't speak French, there will probably never be a reason for she and I to meet, because I don't want to be from different worlds. Even if you look at science, we're both Nigerian women, we're both in Nigeria. The point is, she lives in Port Harcourt. I used to live in Lagos. So where are we ever going to meet? What is going to bring us together? I don't believe we work in the same industry or anything. So you can see that I say these people that yes, you have a goal. Maybe your goal on this call is to understand how we learn French and ace it for your TEF examinations or TCF or DELF or whatever exam you want to write. But the point is, there's so much more outside just that exam. The language is not going to disappear. You're going to use it to meet people. I recently came back from a trip. I went to Montpellier for about 5 weeks to get certification to teach better. And guys, I met people from so many countries I would never have met. I met people from India. There are plenty of Indians here in Canada. I met people from Mexico, from Spain, from Pakistan, from Russia, from Ukraine. I didn't even know there are different languages in Russian and Ukraine, because there are people that are just coming to understand the French better, and I got to speak with them. So I say this, that it opens doors that even if they are not monetary value, they are social value, and that social value, that social wealth, you cannot put a figure on it. So trust me, guys, what she said is very true. And also what she mentioned about whatever is hard, pick your hard. What is your hard? So you may tell yourself, okay, you want to become a fruit artist or something. Why do you want that? And how long do you think it might take you to become a food artist or mastery? Somebody here may tell me, okay, hi, Sumo, I want to become fluent in the French language. I'm not even fluent in English language. Even if I'm speaking it here, there are some things where if somebody was to give me a chemistry textbook, yes, I can read the English, but I may not understand Jack because my background is in arts. And it's similar if somebody were to take me to my sister's an architect, so to a building, I said, okay, Smolo, I'll draw up an architectural plan. I can speak English, but I have no idea about that. So my point, when you say you want to become fluent, I'm like, guys, calm down. You need to understand, what is it in conversational fluency? Are you trying to learn it for business? Are you trying to? You need to know your why, and then why didn't you break down your goals? Why didn't you say, okay, you know what? I want to meet Joke because Joke has fantastic makeup and hair, and I want to speak to Joke in 10 minutes about hair and makeup. That is a topic you are willing to talk about for 10 minutes. Why don't you learn vocabulary about that to make it easier? Don't let me get into that. I'm sorry, Joke. I'm going to share my screen now because three people have sent me a message saying, hi, Sumo, you didn't introduce yourself or what you do. I thought I did before I joined, but let me just pull up my screen, guys, so you can quickly see this. So hi guys, for people that just joined, apologies. I am Sumolua and we have our amazing guest here, Joke. We just said that this webinar we're talking about how we started learning French, the opportunities, achieving fluency, writing exams. I'm going to get to that part. So let me just breeze through this. So what do? I teach professionals or I teach busy people or individuals the French language via my French Made Easy online courses. I try and teach it in a fun and engaging way because I know what it was like for me to learn French on my own. So I try and make it very easy because learning a language is not for the faint-hearted. So yes. I also have speaking practice sessions because as Joke Equally said, pronunciation is really important. And I teach students who want to write the DELF, TEF, and TCF examinations. My French certifications are in TEF, DELF. I have written the DELF exam and the TEF, so I know what I'm saying. And I recently also got my certification from ILA to teach better. I have a YouTube channel. So if you say, okay, you know what, Sumolua, let me just dip my toes in the language. I'm not quite sure if I want to learn French. Let me before I even put money down. Fine, go to my YouTube channel, guys. I have a ton. Just search for French Arena. I have at least over 50 videos where you can watch to have an idea if the language is for you. Because if you do not even have the motivation to learn the language, don't even bother starting. Nobody can give you that motivation. Forget how many videos you watch of somebody telling you their journey. As your guy said, I learned in 6 months. I learned in 1 year or something. If you don't want to learn it, you don't want to. Nobody can force you. I always say I love Arabic, but I'm like, Smolo, are you sure you are ready? But anyways, that's just you. You need to decide. Oh, we've already jumped. So that's it, guys. So that's much about me. The next question that I was going to just pull up now, I was going to ask Joke about her TEF No, excuse me, she wrote the TCF, I wrote the TEF. So guys, I'm going to show you this beautiful result. Be calm. When you see the result, just say yay, yay. Just type yay. This is Joker's results. Oh, I've never shown it. This is her amazing. So she wrote the TCF examination once in one sitting. I was lucky enough to write my own TEF in one sitting as well. But this is Joker's result. This is what she got. As you can see, guys, in her compréhension orale, she got C2. Her compréhension écrite, which is C2. Her expression orale, C1. Et aussi expression écrite, C1. So, Joker, please tell us the magic you performed. Let people know the truth on how long did it take you to get ready for the examination? What was your level before you wrote the exam? And what tips can you give people that are looking to write TEF? Which month are we in? June? This month, next quarter? Yes.
Hmm. So you know how you watch those adverts and they say do not attempt this at home. I feel like I need to give that disclaimer because, after I got this result, a lot of people came to me and said, "I want to get this kind of result." I'm like, "Are you ready to do the kind of work?" Because
Yeah.
this is not child's play. You know, at the point I started dreaming in French. It was like I would
Done.
wake up
I
in the
am
morning
done.
and the first thing that comes out of my mouth is French to my husband. He's like, "You say what?" I'm like, sorry. Right. So, mm, my journey to this result. Number one, I would call it have the fundamentals. In fact, I would liken this to a tree. You know, we see the tree, when we see a tree, we look at the branches, the beautiful branches. We see the beautiful fruits. Maybe there used to be a fruit tree behind our house in Songwater then. And you know, children now, when the owner of the house is sleeping, we're gonna be throwing stones. Until one day they caught us, somebody flogged you was not funny. But yeah, my point is we see the tree, we see the leaves, we see the fruit, we see the branches, also beautiful. But the real thing that makes up the tree is what? Please, if you know the answer, put it in the comment section. What is the real thing that makes up a tree? Is it the branch? Is it the fruit? Is it the stem? This is where we know the people that did agric or the people that skipped agric in secondary school. Right? Anyone, like all of us know, it is the root. It is the root that actually sustains the tree. So let us leave this result aside for a moment and say what are the fundamentals to learning this language, right? The fundamental must be there. I often people come into my DM and they say, "Jockey, I want to have Sado in everything. What level are you in French?" I'm just starting out though. In fact, I'm still thinking. I'm like, okay, that is an amazing goal. I love your dream. They tell us to dream big, so why not do it? But get your roots correctly. Like, that is important. Before you even think of acing TCF exam, get your fundamentals right. Learn the language. Don't fall to this prey of people. I see a lot of it on Telegram, on Instagram. Ace your exam, learn French in 3 months and ace TCF, or learn in one day and auntie or uncle. Except you are Dangote's son or daughter that you have a lot of money to
Yeah.
give to. Don't get your fundament. You need to learn the language. For
Yes.
me, I learned for almost a year up to Beidou level. At that point, I'm sure I was even probably higher than Beidou already.
Mhm.
Um, but I stopped at Beidou at the school, at the French school, right? So at that point, I didn't even write the exam immediately. I didn't write the exam immediately. Prepared for another 2 months after learning the language. This is where a lot of people get it wrong. Yes, you know how to speak a language doesn't mean you pass the exam. Yeah, my husband is an amazing English speaker. He wrote IELTS 4 times. No
Same
shade,
as
baby.
me.
No shade. So the fact that you can even speak the language, that you understand it, your oral, your écrit, all of that is awesome. Doesn't mean that you would pass the exam. So you need to take some time to actually prepare. There are techniques to it. It's not in the exam hall that you want to start wondering, oh, how many questions is going to be in this section. No, that should not be where you that out. You should have practiced and practiced and practiced before you go into the exam. So my number one tip is learn the roots. That is the fundamentals. Learn the language. The second one is prepare for the exam. There are two different things. Learn the techniques. TCF, for example, has 4 sections. All right.
Yeah.
So learn what does it entail? What is the timing? So you don't have 39 minutes and you're still on question two when 20 minutes is already
Hmm.
right? So you want to those technicalities are there. So for example, I at the back of my mind, I knew that if you're not sure about a question, move. Don't go and die there because you didn't get one. Conference etiquette as well, it has its own techniques. Everything it does. It does. Another thing that helped for comprehension oral is I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of it, and this is one thing that I think can help a lot of people. I slept with it. Like, I have my earpiece on and I sleep, and maybe because I had a baby, so I still had to tend to my baby. I need to hear sleeping, so it was just one ear, right? I still needed to attend to my child, but as I slept, there was something that I call it the transmission to your subconscious. At a point, you don't learn language at your conscious level. It needs to get into your subconscious. And that was what sleeping with French podcast or any news helped me to do. I wasn't hearing everything they were saying at that point, but I kept at it. I was sleeping with my earpiece in it. And then, yeah, for the other, practice with someone.
Yeah.
Super key. In fact, that was one thing that really helped was practicing with somebody, as it was like an exam simulation to say, okay, présentez-vous, right? Yeah. You had to present yourself, the second, the third section. So again, I got a tutor as well. For me, I don't know about other people. I learned in a French school and got another tutor to
Yeah.
prepare for the exam.
Yes.
I know somebody is listening to there and is like, okay, it's like this Joker is a gas wife. It's like money is flowing for her. No, that is not the case. I set my eyes like a flint. You know, for those of us that have the Christian faith, it says if your eyes is single, it will be filled with light. So I knew the goal I was going for. I knew this is it. I don't have time to go and be doing trial and error. And that's not how I do my things. I know this is what I want to do, and I do it. Is there a tutor that already knows this? There are 39 questions there, and is there somebody like that? Okay, there is. I signed up with the person, and it was a lot of work on my part as well. I will tell you, we had our classes sometimes from 9 to 11 p.m. I had a baby, I had a family, I had other things I was doing, but it was a commitment. So, first of all, understand the fundamentals. The second one, understand the technicalities of the exam. And then, thirdly, the big parts as well. Pray. I can't end without saying that.
Yeah.
Pray as well. I've had people that prepared and prepared and prepared, and on the exam, they got into the exam hall and they couldn't present themselves. They just froze.
Yeah.
It happens, right? So you also want to pray. If you're a person of faith, you want to pray that God should crown your efforts with mercy, with goodness. I'll hang it there.
Thank you so much for this, Joker. Like, guys, I want to enter the camera, the laptop, and hug her because everything she said literally what I would say. And for some of my students are equally here. Thank you so much, guys. And if there are people here that have heard my story before, I've not, I say exactly what Joker has said. It's the same thing with me. Even though she got to B2, I got to B2 level. Guys, I also took my time, got to B2 level. Like I said, I started learning French properly again in 2018 and said, okay, you know what, smaller, let's do it. I wrote my DELF A2 exam June 2018. I wrote my DELF B2 December 2018. Then I wrote my TEF July 2019. Why did it take me so long to write my TEF exam? Because I got a tutor. I was teaching French then, but I was like, you know what, smaller, you do not know enough to for this exam. Because even though I was teaching the French language, I was teaching beginners the French language. So I'm like, why don't you go to someone that is better than you in order for you to get the best results in one sitting? And just as Joke did, I did as well. I got a teacher that understood the TEF examinations, and he and I practiced for about 2 to 3 months. Like she said, just exam. I will wake up and practice exam. I will sleep and practice exam. And I was working equally. Every time was just practicing past questions like there was fire on the mountain, and I knew I wanted to write this. As she equally said, I speak English. You guys can clearly hear me speaking English. I wrote the IELTS 4 times, 4 good times. But I was like, Smolua, you see that French exam? I'm writing it one. Because I think back then, 2019, IELTS was maybe 68K, so I can't remember. But the TEF then was 160,000 naira. I don't know how much that is in dollars now, apologies. But I knew I needed to write that exam once and ace it. And thank God I did. My result is not as beautiful as Joke's own, but at least I managed to get one C2, two C1s, and one B2. That writing held me. But the point is, I knew what I wanted. I'm like, I want to write this exam once and ace. So I got a tutor as well. And even though after the exam, I did not stop there because that is just me, guys. I continue learning French to where I am now, teaching more people. So my point is, as she said, prayer, one, that's even number one. Practice is number two. Practice more is number three. Because the more you practice, the better you get. So, for example, guys, imagine you want to learn how to drive. You can't just come to the driving school and say, okay, I want to learn how to drive, and you come for classes once a week. How? You're going to forget. You may know where the gear is and the accelerator or whatever, the dashboard. But the point is, the more you get into the vehicle and drive, maybe today you drive for 5 minutes, tomorrow you do 5 minutes again, Wednesday you do 10 minutes, Thursday you do 15 minutes. By the time you know it, in 3 months, you are doing 1 hour drive. You can say, okay, you know what, Smolua, let me drive from Ikeja to Lekki. Is that far? Yes, far. Let me do this distance. So my point is, the more you put in the practice, guys, the better you get. Let me even talk about cooking, for instance. I'm sure everybody heard about the whole Hilda Bass's cooking show and everything. Me in Canada, go, I wanted to pay for it. Just I can cook, but I'm like, let me even see what she's teaching that is this good. So my point is, when you know that there's someone better that can teach you something that you want, go for that. As I'll get to the point of Joket mentioning finances, when you know you can do something but you want the best, go for better. But the point is you need to have at least a good level. I tell people there are two parts to this exam. The first part and the most important part is understanding the French language. The second part is understanding the structure of the exam. If you cannot speak the French language, you have no business writing the examination. If you haven't attained at least a minimum, a B2 level in the French language, you have no business writing TEF or TCF. Imagine somebody wants to write the IELTS examination and cannot speak English. That's why I tell people are like, ah, so 2 months, 2 months. Did you learn English in 2 months? You didn't. So how do you think you can learn French in 2 months? Even if they drop you in a village in France, it's not that easy to understand it in 2 months. And like I said, guys, I'm just coming back from a trip in France, and I've met people who have been there for 6 months, and they are still at maybe A2 B1 level because even if they are in the country, they are equally doing other things. When people tell you go to a francophone country and learn the language, immerse yourself in the culture. Please, I want to be honest. How many times do you think you're going to go to a supermarket and talk to someone? When you get to a supermarket to buy something, Joke, you are buying your thing and you're going. So do you really
Yeah.
think you're going to sit down and be talking to the cashier? Or when you get to
Yeah.
the restaurant, you're going to order food and go. Or when you get to
Right.
the salon, you're telling them, please cut my hair like this. So when people have that mentality, ah, Sumo, I need to move to a francophone country. Yes and no. First of all, finances. If you have finances, you go and be there for like a year. If
Yeah.
you don't and you go there, you need to have your goal. You need to, okay, you know what? I'm going to make new friends in quotes. I'm going to meet people that I can speak with because nobody has the time to sit down with you and be talking. Hence why Joker Ekoli said you then get a tutor for the exam to practice. So you know that this person's job is not to teach me French. I already know that. The person's job is just to teach me and prepare me for the exam. Shikena. Do not let me overflow this issue. So if you want Joker's result, let me put it up again so people can see and pray. If you want this result, as we have said, guys, or if you even want to get C2 in everything, please, guys, if you're a beginner on this call, this is not to scare you. We're just being honest. You need to practice and you need to have the fundamentals in the French language. If you decide you want to write the exam when you're a B1 student, you are different from Joke and I. You can go ahead and do it. Please do it if you want to try it. But if you're not, okay, you know what? Let me just be practicing past questions for now. And when you are seeing yourself or your past questions are getting better, then you can then pay for the exam. But if you've never practiced a past question, if you've never gotten a tutor, or you never even attended an online class or a physical class or whatever, and you just go ahead, I wish you the best of luck. It's not to scare you. We're just being as honest as possible. If you have the means and the money to do it and do it again, do it and do it again. It's fine until you get your desired results. The next question I'm going to ask, okay, remember that I said 1 hour, guys. I don't want to keep everybody waiting. Joke, if you can quantify it, how much have you spent on learning the French language? In time, in money, in everything? How much? Because I say this because I know what I hear I know what I hear from people. They're like, so much to learn French. So let me keep quiet and let somebody else tell me. Of course, you don't need to give me a figure. Just say, what is it? Sorry, guys, I got
Hmm.
questions here, guys. Do not worry. We're almost done. We'll have Q&A. Do not worry. And then you can ask Joke questions you want as well. You can ask me questions. So please go ahead, Joke.
This is such an amazing question because, of course, as human beings, we want to, even the Bible says it that who will build a house and not first of all sit down to count the cost.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times we look at the cost of it and we don't look at the cost of not doing it.
That's it.
And it is a bias. I think I read a book somewhere, and it's called the availability heuristic. It means that we focus on what is in front of us right now. That is what a lot of us are wired to focus on. How much is it right now? How much is it? Somebody came into my DM and was like, "How much?" So the first month, the second month, the third month. Madam, I can feel your anxiety from the other side of the telegram. What is going on? Calm down. I was like, money. Money is the cheapest thing in life.
Yeah.
I know some people are throwing stone at Joke. If I throw you slippers there, money is the cheapest thing in life. The real expensive thing is time.
Yeah.
Look at the time that would pass you by, the opportunities that would pass you by. Can I even quantify it? If I did not do it last year and I waited till now, the time that has passed, can I quantify the opportunities that would have passed with it? I can't. So if I am to quantify in terms of money, how much did I spend? There's no amount I say here right now. That
Yeah.
is a true picture of what things are right now. And
Yeah.
that is why I say time is the most expensive thing. Imagine if I procrastinated. I paid, I think it was 180 something thousand to write this year.
Hmm. Now it's 700,000.
Now it's 700,000. So the real cost that we are talking about here is 700,000 minus 186. That
Yeah.
is the real, because that is the cost of doing nothing. That is
Yeah.
the cost of procrastinating. That is the cost of I don't have time now. That is the cost of my work, my child, my business is taking my time. I cannot focus it now. That is the real cost. Really, 700K minus 186. That is the cost of doing nothing. The second one, and sometimes I use my daughter as a measure. Sometimes I just look at her and I'm like, what is it? Look at this Madam Smalley that I brought back from the hospital which day. That's telling me no. She's telling me go outside. Right? So whether we do something or we don't do something, time will pass.
Yeah.
Whether you take action, whether you don't take action, whether you learn French now, whether you don't learn, time
Yeah.
is passing. Like time is going. And I like this quote that said that life is short.
Yeah.
Because we measure time in years, we think that, oh, we have so much time.
Mm.
That is not the case. I was looking at my mom yesterday. It was a video call, and I was like, I remember her when I was younger. Of course, she's still beautiful, but I remember her without wrinkles. I remember her fair. But I look at her, I'm like, this time is actually going, whether we do something or we don't do it. So the real cost is the cost of doing nothing, the cost of procrastinating. Can you afford it? Can you really afford it? Can you afford not getting that opportunity that could have come to you if you learned the French? Can you afford the opportunity of time? It's 700K now. For those people that need to write it, you still need to write it. Could you have
Yeah.
done it last? You could have done it last year and
Yeah.
saved over 500,000. You don't know what the cost will be next year. Maybe it will be millions, millions next year. That is the real cost. That
Yeah.
is the real. That is
No,
the real cost.
you're right. Thank you very much for that. And something Joke said, I'm going to say it again. I learned this quote from Olu's page. I'm sure everybody knows Olu's page, Olu Femiloye. He said something. The opportunity of a lifetime must be seized in the lifetime of the opportunity. I'm going to say that again. The opportunity of a lifetime must be seized in the lifetime of the opportunity. And it's exactly what she said. Like I said to you guys, um Joker said that she paid 180 or something. I can't remember how much she paid for the exam. I paid 160. When I saw that exam became 295, I was already here. It was 400 or something, I think in December or January last year. And I screamed, like, eh? I was saying I was gonna be, would I still have done this thing? He said, Somo, you say I've done it. That was 400 and something K. We're still saying you say I've done it. And then we heard that it was 700K. I think it changed January, right? Okay, or February this year. And I said, baby, I will not do it though. He said, you still do it. And I thought about it. I was like, I will still do it because, guys, I don't have a master's degree. So how am I going to enter the pool? You need to be a unicorn because I think now the score is like 530 or something.
Yeah.
What am I going to have done? Like, my husband has a master's degree. Even if we pack everything together, I would still have been in Nigeria talking to you guys from the phone. And that's just honestly the truth, guys. She said it. And I say, what is it costing you not to speak the French language? Please, guys, remove TEF or TCF from your mind. What happens after the exam? Because the exam is one part of your journey, it's not the complete thing. It's the same way you can speak the English examination, right? Excuse me, I can't speak English. You can speak the English language and you've written the IELTS, right? So is somebody going to still ask you, okay, so Joke, what's your reason for speaking English? You're like, what do you mean? It's my way of life. I can speak, I can meet people, I can get a job. Those are so many other reasons. I can travel to any Anglophone country without the fear of, yeah, can I not understand what they are saying? I can make new friends. So there's so much more to a language or to the French language than just passing an exam. So guys, she has given you the amount you have spent. What is it costing you not to speak the French language? That's it. I will say, would you do it again, Joke? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because
Mm.
somebody asked her that, okay, are you sure? You see, I'll put up all the questions now. You have seen it, guys. She has said it, she will do this over and over again. The same way I said, my husband says, more you will do it. I will do it over and over again because I know what my goal is. I know what I'm working towards. I know what I want for my generations to come and so much more. So, yes, we're going to round up soon. Um, I'm going to answer some questions shortly and then we'll call it a day. So some people have also asked methods of learning French, like how do we learn French most? Basically, like Joke has said as well, you can decide if you want to learn in a classroom, you can decide to learn self-study as via online courses, or you can equally get a personal tutor and say, okay, you know what, I want to have one-on-one. My personal advice, this is just me, is I would say if you are starting, start with either an online course or a class. And I say this because having a one-on-one tutor, I don't know how it will work for you. Maybe the person is going to give you everything from the beginning, but that's just me. You decide what you want because at the end of the day, Joker is different, Sumolua is different, Toyosi is different. Pick what works for you because you are the one trying to learn the language, nobody else, not your teacher. His job is just to teach you, you are trying to learn. And then if you are interested in joining online courses, I have courses. I have the French Made Easy A1 course, which is for somebody that can only say bonjour les mazi, as Joker said, or you are a total novice. I have A1, A2, B1, B2, and C1. Okay. Now we're going to move to Q and A. I'm going to start from the top, guys. I'm going to put your question here so you can equally ask Joker any questions you have, or you can ask me. But before we go into that, thank you all for joining today's session. I hope you learned a lot from Joker's story, and this has reignited, or if you're a beginner, ignited the fire in you to continue learning the French language or to want to start learning the French language. Okay. Thank you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. The first question I'm going to put up here, Joke, I think this is for you. I can answer you, call answer. What did you do to practice conversation?
So that's a great question. The practice, like I already mentioned, I was in a class, right? So I could practice with my peers, I could practice with my tutor who was present as well. So yes, being in a class helped me to practice conversation. There are other apps as well. You can check it up online. I think there's Busu and a couple of other apps. But then you need to have gotten to a certain stage before you can start using those apps, right? So I would say class worked for me. It could be different for someone else, but that's what worked for me to practice my conversation.
Okay, thank you, Joke. I would also give a free tip that might help you guys. So I had a friend equally. What she did was she went on, I think it was Naira Land or a website, and she looked for someone who was a French speaker that wanted to learn English. So as Joke said, trade by barter. She would teach the person English, and the person would teach her French. That might take you longer to learn, but the point is you are equally speaking with someone, and she would start excuse me, by saying small things. So how was the weather in your country? What do you eat in your country? How do you sleep? Or little things like that. And the point was she would teach the person English and he would teach her French. It took a while, but she got to what she wanted. So if you're looking for a free method, and like I said, it's not really free, but you're not paying money, but you're giving your time to teach that language. There are also apps. I can put one in the chat. I'll put one in the comment section. It's called Tandem. I don't know if you have it in Nigeria. I'm not quite sure. You can check that one is equally similar. Both of you are talking, you're looking for someone who wants to learn the language and you're willing to teach somebody a certain language. Also, in my course, like I mentioned, we have a support group and we have practice sessions. So I match you with someone and you and that person can speak. I've also created a list of topics to discuss because I know when people tell me, okay, Sumo, you say we should speak. What should we talk about? Don't worry, you already have that. So you can talk about so many things. I also have 30-day challenge. This helps you to equally speak and start. And the freest tip you can think of, guys, pick up your phone and record yourself. It may be cringy. You may be like, ah, I'm shy. Why are you shy? It's you and your phone. Pick it up and talk about your day in 1 minute. My day was this. So today I joined an amazing session with Sumulua and Joke, and I really knew that I need to continue learning my French. Thank you. I will learn French. That's all. But you're saying it in French. You make a mistake tomorrow, we correct yourself. So yesterday I said this and I just realized, oh, the word I should have used was Ali instead of went or something. And you say that, record yourself and watch yourself back in a month, a quarter, a year, and you will see the difference. So thank you for that, Joke. Um, this is another question. How much grace period should we give ourselves when we begin, before we begin, to question our learning pace? I know people learn at different paces, but how much time would you say is too long? So I'll answer this and then Joke can equally answer this. I would say, how much time would you say is too long? That depends on what your goal is. And like I said, guys, I started relearning French, I'll say properly from the beginning again in 2018. I actually started learning by myself. I did not go to a class because for me, what I realized is I didn't have the time to go to a class. My job then, I worked for Heineken, and working for Heineken meant I was in sales and marketing. I had to work at night sometimes. So there was physically no time for me to sit in a class because my manager could call me then or something and I didn't want issues. So I used to learn online by myself, okay? Because I love the language. I would watch movies, I would read books. I got some books to read, some practice sessions, excuse me. I paid for a teacher online and that helped me. I'm different from Joker's story, so that was what it. Now, for attaining fluency, or what will I say was too long? Like I said, I wrote my DELF A2 in June, I wrote my DELF B2 in December, and I wrote my TEF by July. So if you look at my timetable, not my time frame, excuse me, you might say it took me 18 months. But the point is, after that, I still continued learning. Like I said, I just came back from a recent trip, and someone might say, "So what are you still learning for?" Because I still want to continue learning. I want to get better. So to me, think, okay, that's 2019 to 2024. You're still learning. This woman doesn't know anything. No, I just want to be a better version of myself in the French language. It's the same way somebody here and thinking, okay, I want to get a PhD in English. You can already speak English, but you want to further yourself. So to answer your question, Yuko, I don't know how much time is too long. But if you are looking to write an exam and you say, okay, you know what, I want to write the TEF exam, have a date in your mind and work towards that. Because if you just say, I want to write the exam, that's not a goal. You have to have a smart goal. Is it realistic? Is it achievable? What are you going to work on? How much time are you going to put to get to that goal? Okay, Joke, you can equally answer as well, please.
I think you said it all, really. It all starts with your goal. What goal do you want to achieve? That would determine your pace. So one person's, if I don't want to do anything with the language, it's just for the fun of it or for the love of the language. Yeah, you can take your time. But if you have a goal, maybe you want to write an exam, you want to relocate, or you have business transactions, that would determine the pace that you want to go as well. What I would say is, in this journey, overestimate the time that you would need. I would say that. If you think you can learn in 6 months, add like 2, 3 months to it. So, because like someone has already said, written language is different from spoken language. So you might take time to learn the written, the spoken. Yeah. So give yourself the grace, give yourself the pace to learn. Because again, the goal is not just to learn it to write exam, do la cram, la pour, and that it's done. Right. So pace yourself. You would know. You would know. You would
Mhm.
know. Another question similar to that is, when do I know I'm ready for the exam? Abba, you would know. By the time you do pass questions, you would know.
I
Right.
was
So
getting there. Thank you for that. I was literally just going to, that was what I was going to put up because somebody asked that before. The person has said, I have been learning French since October last year and I'm done with my classes. I'm currently self studying now, I like to attempt TEF exams. Then, second part, I have a phobia for the exams. How difficult is the TEF exams in comparison to IELTS? I wrote my IELTS. Anyways, Joker, please answer the question.
hmm. So this is the question. You have a phobia for exams. Typically, as human beings, we have fear for the unknown, things we don't things that are uncertain. We avoid uncertainty, and it's a human nature. It's okay. We all feel it, this phobia, because you don't have clarity yet about how this exam is. And that goes back to what Sumo has already said. It's about practice. If you already know this is the structure of the exam, you understand the language already, you know I'm writing 4 parts of this exam. Yeah, you don't know what is going to come out in this exam, but you've practiced and practiced and practiced. It will give you confidence. Now, that confidence cannot come from me boosting you now and giving you motivational speech. It will not come from there. It will come from you actually practicing, understanding the language first, understanding the technicalities, the structure of the exam, and you would see the confidence come up for the exam. So Oma, you got an 8.0 in English in IELTS. That's awesome. Congratulations. That means you're a smarty, right? You have the brains. You have the brains. So yeah,
Good.
practice, learn the language, and you should do well.
Thank you so much for that, Joke. Also, we've said the answers. I hope that can help you. She asked, or he, I'm not sure if it's a she or he, excuse me. I'm going to pull up the next question and I can answer this. So, any tips on how to ace speaking and listening, please? So, with what I'll just repeat what Joke equally said. For the speaking, speak to someone. The way to overcome your fear of speaking is by speaking. I'm something like, Sumo, really? That is it. If you do not speak, you're never going to know if you're saying the right things. If you speak, the more you speak and the more you practice the questions that might come out in the speaking exam, don't just be speaking like, okay, I'm just talking like how Joker and I are speaking. No. So, for example, you say you got an 8.0 in your IELTS. I'm assuming you practiced the speaking sections of the IELTS, right? If yes, then that's good. The same way, you need to practice speaking questions for the TEF examination. So you said you've been learning since last year. I don't know if you're already a B2 student. I don't know what your level is, but if you're already a B2 student, you need to start practicing TEF or TCF past questions now. The more you practice, you will not be shocked in the exam. Then for your listening, I use RFI a lot. So Jokai had podcast. I was listening to RFI every day. Like I still have the app on my phone. I don't listen to it once in a while. Now I was listening to it every single day because that helped me to hear so many things. You learn that your vocabulary will improve because you're listening to a ton of different things. You can equally practice the TEF or the TCF past questions. They are listening parts. So listen, 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 and that would help. I think Joke said something like, Joke, do you have anything else to add to that, please?
You've said it all, really. I just wanted to speak to that place of phobia. She said, "Let me overcome the phobia first." So you don't overcome phobia by thinking or by planning. You overcome phobia by acting. So the fear is not. It don't. It's never going to go away. You will not
Yeah.
sit down one day and say, "Fear, oh yeah, leave my body now, leave my body now," and it will, and it will leave. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to practice. The more you practice, the more you gain the confidence. Yeah.
Yeah, very true. Thank you so much for that. Okay. This is question is for you. Please, Joke, when did you start learning? How long did it take you? So I think you just joked it about Joke said this, but please go ahead again.
Yes, I guess I wasn't here then. I learned for about a year. I learned about for about a year, and like someone said, the learning is continuous. The for about a year is before I wrote the exam, but even beyond that, I still keep on learning. I still keep on listening to LFE podcast. Yeah, the learning is continuous. Till today, I still come across new words. I still come across that I still need to get check the dictionary for, right? So it's a continuous journey. It
Yeah.
is a continuous journey.
Thank you so much for that, Joke. This is Lara's question, and Lara, I would say I recommend my class because definitely, I don't know what your level is. If you're A1, A2, B1, B2, or C1, this you can start with any of my courses. You can equally send an email to hello@frencharena.com. Don't worry, I'll put that on the next slide so that you can see it. Yes, if at all you want to start. Next question is from Shayo. Okay, Joke, please help. I know you did TCF, right? Let me know which you recommend and why did you choose TCF and not TEF?
Okay, so I can almost bet my money on this. The person that asked this question hasn't gotten to Bedu yet. I can. Like, Fawale Shayo, come on. Come on, tell me you're there already. You're not at Bedo yet, because by the time you get to Bedo, it will be easier for you to understand the structures of the exam. And then you can choose which one do I want to go for. Right? So if you're listening to this Shayo, get to Bedo first. When you get there, the two exams have different structures. So, for example, in TCF, the is it the compression or alias? They play it only once. They play the audio just once, and it is one audio per question. While in TF is different, right? But all of those are technicalities that you can always review either with your tutor or you can Google it, and then you decide for yourself which one is good. I chose TCF because of the audio. One audio is playing for each question. That was more suitable for me. But there's a downside to that as well. In TEF, you have just two speaking tasks, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yes, sorry, Jerry. Yes, I was reading the comments. Yes, because that's how it was. But this was 2019. I don't think things have changed much.
Yeah.
Yes.
So TEF you have to, but TCF you have to speak three times. Right. So
Mhm.
that was different. So again, I knew that one of my biggest competency was in speaking. So I wasn't afraid of speaking three times. But listening, I wanted one audio for one question.
Mhm.
Again, when you get to Bedo, you will know your competency and then you will know which one you want to go for.
That's she's very, very right. Thank you for that. I have put the answer here. Sorry, somebody asked, what's the app again? Lara asked the app. It's called RFI, Radio France International, ou RFI. En français, c'est RFI. Radio France International. So that's what the app is called. Okay, Omo has responded. Okay, thanks, Omo. She's a B2 student. She's a she. Hi, Omo. Thank you for that. So as Joker said, don't have the phobia. You need to act. A quick segue. We're going to finish soon, guys. I don't want to keep Joker for too long because she's already giving us her free time, which I'm so grateful for. And one thing she said, you need to keep practicing. And in order for you to overcome phobia, you need to act. So, for example, this has nothing to do with the French language. When I was pregnant, and I wanted to understand more why I was so scared of giving birth, I honestly signed up for an online course. Some people think it's weird, like Sumo really, but it helped my brain because I watched someone who she's a labor nurse and she already has two kids. I wanted someone who are giving birth, and she gave tips on how to get ready for labor and what to expect after your baby. So when I was in labor and having contractions, there were some things I was doing that helped my mind to stay calm. I thought I was going to get an epidural and everything, but I ended up just going natural because of what I had watched. My point is, I don't know how it would have been if I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't act on overcoming that fear. And when it was that time, once Madam came out, I didn't even remember the online course again. Till today, I've never opened the course. I don't even remember anything. But my point is this, Omo, remove the fear. You're a B2 student. That is amazing, which means you even can speak the language, and that's good. What you need to do now is start practicing the past questions. You have end of the year. You are just in June. There's time. Start practicing TEF or TCF past questions. So this can equally help you to get ready for the exam. So thank you for that. Oh, thank you so much, Joy. So Joy says, I'm a mother with an 8-month-old baby. Salute, Joy. I know the feeling. I live in Port Harcourt. She lives in Joker City and she's in A1 class. So every night we meet to motivate me not to give up. Thank both of you. Thank you for that. That's our joy. I'm happy to hear that. Yemi C is asking, we're going to round up after this, guys. Joker needs to leave. How do we get TEF or TCF past questions? I would advise you check Google. You can equally join some Facebook groups. In my course, personally, I give my students past questions for TEF and TCF from B1. I don't bother with A1 and A2 because you're still a beginner. And I give you in B1 just so you can have an idea of what it's about. And then in B2, there's more. So that can equally help. Joker, do you have any answer for this?
You've said it. You said it.
Yeah, so that's just
This
it.
line, Google it. Yeah.
Then the final question, somebody's asking me this in my private chat. Hi, Sumo, you mentioned Delft classes. What are those? Okay, sorry. Let me just quickly breeze through that. So, guys, as a French student, we have 6 levels. You have the A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. Now, in order for you to move to the next level, if you want, you can decide to take the Delft A1 examination or Delft A2, Delft B1, Delft B2, Delft C1, Delft C2 if you want. Most people get to Delft B2 and then they decide to take the TEF or TCF exam. That's your point of view. So the DELF exam only tests your knowledge on that level. So if you're an A1 student, you will write DELF A1 exam alone. So imagine here, I'm assuming most people here are Nigerians. Imagine you're in secondary school and you want to go from GS1 to GS2. You would only write GS1 exam. So in your head, think of the WIAC exam being TEF, if that makes sense, like an accumulation of everything you have learned. So the way the DELF exam is scored, it's scored over 100 and each competency is scored over 25: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. And so Joke could write the exam now and get 25 or 25 in writing, speaking, and listening, and in her reading, she may get 15 over 25. Joke still passed the exam because she got 85 over 100 for maybe day of A1. That's perfect. However, if Joke decides to write the TEF examination and in four competencies Joke only gets A1, that result is useless because they see you as an A1 student. So you need to aim for a B2 minimum and a high B2 level. Okay, please, I hope that this is like a crash course, but you can send me an email to understand the DELF exams better, or you can check out my YouTube, which I go into so much lessons on that, or my Instagram. But that's basically it. So you don't need the DELF exam for relocation. Maybe if you're doing postgraduate studies, you can use DELF. You have to check more information on what your school requires. But for immigration purposes, the only exams that are accepted are TEF exams or TCF examination. That is all. Someone else is asking privately, hi Sumo, can I learn more about your course? Please just send me an email. I'm going to put it here to hello@frencharena.com, and that would help you so we can talk more. I do not want to keep Joke more on this call because she's already given us an hour 15 minutes of a fantastic time. So please just send an email to hello@frencharena.com. Like, hi Sumo, I'll join your class and we can take it from there. Thank you so much, Joke, for being here with us today, guys. Please say thank you to Joke in the chat box. Let us tell Joke thank you for sharing the amazing tips she's giving us today because I wish I had joined. Is that your English? That's English now. I wish I had joined. English. I wish I had joined something like this when I was learning French. You see that even English, we make mistakes sometimes. I wish I had joined a call like this, and I'm so grateful to have Joke here. Joke, please, any final words for anyone on this journey to learning the French language for whatever reasons they have? Can you just give us any final words, please?
Oh yeah, so we've spoken a lot. My final words would be: it's one thing to hear, it's another thing to apply. So, in as much as you've had an amazing time, you liked my face, you liked Sumo's face, it has been an amazing. We've been gisting, you've been loving it. But the biggest thing here is to apply. Apply the things you've learned. Take action. Right? Nothing moves until you move. The French would not, it won't fall from you from heaven. I wish there was an impartation service, like those Holy Ghost service we go for, and they would just impart French on you. It doesn't work that way. So if French is something you want to learn, don't wait another second. There would never be a perfect time, right? There would never be a perfect time. The perfect time is now. With all the chaos of life going on, it is now. If you want to do it, you might as well start.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Joke. I'm going to show all the thanks. Everybody saying thank you to Joke. Oh, everybody
Thank
say thank you, Joke. Thank you so much, Sumo and
you.
Joke. Thank you guys for being here as well. I am so appreciative. Thank you for taking out your time to join us on this fantastic call. Lara, let's talk offline. Sorry, so I don't keep Joke. Yes, thank you so much, guys, for this. I am so appreciative, Joke. Thank you once again, and have beautiful weekend ahead, guys. And hopefully, we get to see you guys.
L'invitation, je
Merci beaucoup.
serai très, très, très heureux.
D'accord, merci beaucoup. Ah, aussi, Yuko a dit, vous êtes très gentil. Merci beaucoup, Yuko. Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup à tous et aussi bon week-end. Au revoir.
Bon
Merci.
week-end. Au revoir.